Scorpio. Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name's Carol, and this is your April 2024 reading. So Scorpio, we are in eclipse energy right now. And at the end of March, we had a lunar eclipse. And so some of you might still be feeling the energy from that. And then what's happening right now is we have this huge energy build that's coming towards the biggest eclipse of the year that some of you might be aware, and that's on April 8th, and that's going to be the total solar eclipse, super moon in Aries. And it's a big one. And so I think it was really important for me, and I couldn't ignore it, to maybe do a reading around the eclipse energy and what does it mean. Like, even if you don't follow astrology, I mean, some of you will understand and some of you just, you don't really pay attention to it. But I think, because there's such a big eclipse that's coming up in April, I think it was really important to see, what kind of effect could this have on my life right now? And so that's what I wanted to do. So this whole reading is going to be centered around, first I'm going to look at what area of your life are you being asked to look at right now that's really about, that's related to this eclipse cycle. And well, eclipse cycles are all about, it's really important to know, it's about endings and beginnings. So in particular, solar eclipses, especially the one that's coming up in April, is about beginnings, really. Like, there are endings, of course, but it really focuses more on the beginning because it's in the north, it's closer to the north node, and that's like the direction that we're going into. And so we're going to include this in this reading. So in part 2, I'm going to look at what needs to be released. What are you asking to release? Like, what needs to come to an end during this eclipse season that's not for your highest good? And remember that eclipse energy can last, it can begin, a month before the actual eclipse, and then it can last 6 months out. And so really this could probably last until the end of the year is what astrologers are saying. And so there's something that needs to be released during this period where you're really feeling the pull, and sometimes it just comes out of the blue where it happens. And then I'm going to look at what needs to be healed before you can release it, because sometimes what happens is there's something that needs to be released, but we're not able to because we have to heal something first. And I know that's frustrating, and that's just how the healing journey goes. And so there's something in your shadow. If you're not familiar with the word shadow work, there's something in your unconscious. There's something in your shadow that's impacting this heavily, this release that needs to take place. And so I've left a video on shadow work in the description box below where you can take a look at what shadow work means. But a lot of times, there's things that we need to heal from our childhood, from our adolescence, that block us from releasing certain things. Because when we release, we also get the new beginning, which is number 4. A new beginning is, something that's being born in you. The universe wants to bring you something. And I mean, the universe, God, creator, source is always on our side, even though it doesn't feel like it a lot of times. But because they do want to bring in the new, it's important to shed, and, the old needs to leave. And so let's start with looking at your energy, your overall energy for this month. And I did a reading for you at the end of December, and it was a yearly reading, Scorpio. And so what I did was I pulled 12 cards in that reading, and I pulled your April card. And your April card is the 5 of Wands, and that's the energy of this month for you. Well, the 5 of Wands is, the number 5 is about change, which is, nice, but it's also about conflict. Wands themselves, because of the nature of wands, they're always in conflict because they want to go. They don't want to be still. They want to create. They're about authenticity. And right here, it looks like they're fighting, but they're not fighting. It's just a battle of egos that is taking place here. And the 5 is about your self-worth And it's when you start to compare yourself to others that this card really comes into play, right? It really affects your self-worth. I mean, all you need to do is to go on social media for a few minutes or more, scroll through your phone, and, you know, look at all the rich people and look at all the stars in Hollywood and how everybody has it made except you, all the pretty people out there, and you can really start to beat yourself up. I mean, you really do feel like crap when you get off of social media because you've just compared yourself, right? So I think that once you start comparing yourself, you really negate who you are and how important you are and how wonderful and beautiful you are yourself. But we don't always see that, especially if we're comparing ourselves to others. So that is the overriding energy. So let's start with, I'm going to start out with the Mystical Universe deck. And it's an indie deck that I got online. And yeah, so I've been using it. It's pretty good. I like it. I like the pictures. The pictures are really nice. And so far so good. And let's look at what area, Scorpio, what area in your life right now do we need to look at? So I'm going to ask this deck for one, not too many, just one card, please. One card that I want to come out for area number 1. Nice. Judgment card came out in reverse. This is the Judgment card, and it came out in reverse here. So that's the first card that we're going to look at. I'll move it over, I think. All right. What do you need to release? What needs to release? What needs to end? What do you need to shed during this period that is no longer serving your highest good? One card, please. What does Scorpio need? This one wants to come out here. The Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups. Number 3. What needs to heal? So what's coming up from your shadow that needs to heal? What's coming up from your shadow? Oh, the Moon card needs to heal. Interesting card that's coming up in your shadow. It needs to heal. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned about shadow work. Maybe I did, but your shadow, if you're not familiar with that term or shadow work, there is a video in the description box below, and I apologize if I already talked about it. I've just done a few readings already. So yeah, we're going to look at what needs to heal from your childhood. And then what, at the end, this is what we're focusing on during this eclipse season, is what new beginning is coming for you after, you know, you've worked out a lot of this healing, and then you'll be able to shed something or release something from your life that's no longer serving you. What's the new beginning that's coming forward for you? And wanted to just pop right out. This 7 of Pentacles wants to come out. So I'm going to turn to the Rider-Waite deck, this mini Rider-Waite deck, and we're going to look at, so I need some clarifications for this Judgment card. 2 cards, please, for the Judgment in reverse. We have the Empress. Feminine energy. We already have the Queen of Cups. More feminine energy. Let's try one more. Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. the High Priestess. So we'll talk about these 2 cards. These are number 2 and 3 major arcana. It's our feminine energy that's come out for you. So I will talk about that. Queen of Cups here. More feminine energy and what needs to be released or shed. 2 cards, please. During this season, we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. One more card. The Hermit card in reverse. The Moon card. What needs to, a clarification, please. The World. Wow, 2 powerful cards here, major arcana. One more card, please. And the Ace of Pentacles. Clarification for the 7 of Pentacles. First I got this and this one. Okay, I have the Temperance card. And then I have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands. All right, so let's begin. And then I'm going to pull an oracle card if I remember at the end. I think I missed just one. I think I missed Cancer. Okay, let's look at what area needs to be examined right now. So your overall energy is the Five of Swords, comparing yourself to other people, judging yourself, unworthiness because you're judging yourself, and then you get the Judgment card. So what area of your life do you need to examine right now? Well, let's see. The Judgment card comes in reverse here, and so it's blocked. There's some real resistance to looking at this. The Judgment card is a card about, you see these hands coming up, and they're really there's a calling here. They're reaching up. There's a calling. There's this, a lot of times it's your inner intuition, a calling of a nudge that's calling you to move in a different direction, calling you to do something different for yourself. There's just almost like you're hearing, whispers, and you're kind of putting your ear forward and saying you're willing to kind of answer this call, but there's a real resistance to answering it. And so I'm going to say that you're hearing a nudge, you're hearing the universe, you're hearing Source, you're hearing Creator, God, kind of asking you to bring your life in a different direction. Whatever that means for you. It could be, doing something different, learning something, leaving a relationship, it could be a friend that you're being asked to kind of, walking away from family members. It's just about taking your life in a different direction, following your passion, deciding you want to do something else differently. What is it? But there's a resistance to doing it, a resistance to following. You're hearing it. It's not that you don't hear it, but you're kind of ignoring it, And oh my God, you have two beautiful cards that come out here. Let's talk about these two cards. You have the Empress card, which is number 3, and number 2 is the High Priestess. These are two major archetypal influences in our life. So let's talk about feminine energy and masculine energy. We have both. We have masculine qualities. We have feminine qualities. It doesn't matter what gender we are, but most of us are really ruled. Our behaviors, our way of thinking, our decisions we make are really ruled by the masculine part of ourselves, which is our ego. Right? That is the one that we believe. All the belief systems, all the chatter in our head that tells us that we can do something or not do something is really what we believe. But you've got these two queens here, this feminine energy, and it's quite powerful because I think because you're not, there's a real resistance to following this. I want to say that you're very much up in your head. Your masculine part of you is very much telling you, don't listen to this. It's bullshit. It's not real. You can't do it. You're not allowed to do it. This is stupid. That's your ego will tell you that because it doesn't like to veer off from the status quo, right? Like it's that whole thing of what are people going to think, the judgment. What are people going to think about me? Because, you got the Five of Wands as your overall energy where you're comparing yourself to other people, your self-worth, Me? I can do this? No, you can't do this. These voices in our head. But then you have these two powerful cards, feminine energy. And in the major arcana, these are number 2 and 3. And they've taken the feminine energy and they've split it into 2. And these are the two cards. The High Priestess talks about our intuition, our inner guidance, a feminine quality that we all have. It's a beautiful gift. It's our intuition, right? We all have it. We all have this inner guidance, but instead we follow our ego, which is not our true self. These are all these thoughts and belief systems about ourselves that people told us when we were younger. But our real truth is our inner intuition. It's our gift. It's our inner guidance. It tells us who we are. It tells us where to go, where to take our life. And the other half of the feminine energy, and I'm spending a lot of time on this because, I mean, they both came out together and it's rare that they come out together, is the emotional part of us. This queen right here, this empress, she's in love with creativity, in love with her body. She lives in her body. She's grounded. She takes the time to get still. She's very much feels her emotions, all of them, right? Doesn't get stuck with them. And this is really what's coming up for you right now, is this feminine energy that's just surrounding you right now and trying to seep in, because you're not hearing what the universe is, nudging you, calling you. And maybe you do hear it, but there's a real resistance. There's so much chaos and busyness going on in your head that you can't even touch this feminine energy that's coming forward for you, your beautiful gifts of intuition, of feeling all your emotions, of creativity, of authenticity. It's all there for you right there, waiting for you to tap into it. And so, what do you need to release? What do you need? What needs to come to an end right now in your life? That's effect that this what's the word? Eclipse is bringing up. I want to call it cyclone, and that word it's not a cyclone, it's an eclipse. I don't know why. And I know it's not that, so I can't say. What is it that this eclipse is bringing up? What do we need to release? Well, Queen of Cups. Here's the feminine energy. The Queen is our feminine energy. The Queen is our feminine side. She's our emotional side. There's a lot of emotions you need to release here. A lot of emotions that you need to get to. The Knight of Swords is coming up as clarification for you. And the Knight of Swords is this freedom fighter. I call my knights my freedom fighters. And they want nothing more than to be authentic. I mean, he has that sword of authenticity that's going to cut through all the bullshit. And you need to release all these emotions that you believe about yourself. Maybe you have emotions of anger. Think of an adolescent that this sword right here, this knight wants to be able to feel his anger. He wants to be able to feel his hopelessness. And when you have this feminine energy that you're surrounded with that wants you to take it on, and this freedom to feel all these emotions, feel the anger, feel the hopelessness that maybe you're sitting in, because you're really believing this unworthiness about yourself, that you can't do anything else, or you can't follow this call that you're hearing. And the Hermit card. Well, the Hermit card is normally in an upright position. The Hermit card is, taking time out. Taking time out to get still. Taking time out to go inwards and start to get in touch with some of those emotions. But it's so blocked right here. There's a resistance to doing that. And so I'm wondering is, what is it that's keeping you so much in your head? This unworthiness that's stuck, these emotions of feeling unworthiness. And what is it that, you need to feel all of this? to become unblocked, and for your intuition to come in, and for these beautiful gifts of being able to do what you want to do. But you got to get at some of these emotions that are really blocking things, including your anger, maybe. You know, I have a hard time getting to my anger, but there's some grief that's always behind our own anger. And so in the third position, we're looking at, well, what's coming up from your childhood that's really impacting this release right here? You know, this release of this wanting to feel your emotions, wanting to get at your authenticity, you know, and needing to get still to start to feel some of this. What's blocking that? Well, your beautiful intuition card comes out right here, and that's what's sitting in your shadow, getting in touch with this feminine aspect of you. Your intuition is your inner guidance. And so you really need to go deep to get in touch with what your inner guidance is telling you. The World card comes up here right after that, and that's also sitting in your shadow. And the World card is where it's right at near the end. Well, it's the last card of the major arcana. And it's a card where we have developed a real self-awareness and around who we are, and real authenticity about ourselves, really becoming aware of ourselves. And so that's sitting in your shadow, this who you really are, the real you, and who you are. And you get to that when you get in touch with this intuition, and that helps you, that gives you the guidance to really go where you need to go to get in touch with that. And the Ace of Pentacles is here, and it's a beautiful offer from the universe that's sitting here in your shadow, and it's saying, you know, here's the offer. It's a pentacle. It's your body. The pentacle is your body. Here's a new offer to get in touch with all of these emotions. Here's a new offer to get into your body, because that's when you start to feel this queen, this energy of the queen. She's in love with the body. And so there's a real heavy emphasis, a real feminine, nothing to do with gender. If you're a male listening to this, nothing. It's all about that feminine quality of getting in touch with who you are, getting back into your body, getting out of your head, things spinning in your head, because there's some beautiful, beautiful gifts here that are waiting in your shadow for you, of finding out who you are, you know, not what you were told when you were younger. The seven. So what's this new beginning that's coming forward for you? You get the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is a card about you've spent so much time in your life devoting your life to something, you know. Maybe you've raised a family. Maybe you've just spent a lot of your time on a job that took all these hours. You've just spent a lot of time on something in your life, and you're starting to realize here, you know what? Is it all worth it, or there's more to life here, right? And I think that's the new gift. That's what's coming your way, is that you're going to start to look at things a little bit differently, and it's going to open up, like you're going to start to see, well, there's something more out there for me. And that Judgment card, that reversed Judgment card that came out here in the first position of what area of your life, there is something that's calling you. And you might be feeling that, like that freedom, that authenticity that wants to come forward. Because this 7 tells me that you're going to be starting to look at things a little bit differently and going, is there more to life out there than what I've been doing all this time? There's got to be something more. Temperance card comes up next, and the Temperance card is about this healing journey, and it's about dipping our toe into the water, and feeling our emotions, but still being grounded on the earth. But Temperance is about, this is a journey. This isn't all going to come at once. Nothing happens at once. It's a journey. It's a process. This whole journey of, I think sometimes we can look back at our life and I have a tendency to do it, and I've done it, where I look back and I say, oh my God, I wish I knew now what I knew then, or I wish I had done things differently, and I have regrets, and I feel guilty about certain things, and I've raised a family, and so I've had to work through a lot of those emotions around that, and wondered, what would my life have been like? And then I think, I want to take my life in a new direction. Like I'm doing this tarot. I'm a retired teacher, and this tarot was one of the gifts that have come out of my healing journey, and but it's all a process, right? You don't know your future, but I think things are going to open up for you, and you're going to think, well, there's something more out there for me. But it's a process, and sometimes we think, oh my God, like I'm too old, it's too late, which is, I've been told so many times that it's not true. It's not true. It's never too late. Doesn't matter if you're 75, 85, whatever. It's not too late to start like thinking that, what, there's something else out there for me. Just got to dig a bit more, get back into my body, start to feel some of the things I need to feel. And finally, the last card here is the Eight of Wands, which is a beautiful card of creativity. It's where you finally like, what? I don't know what's out there for me. I just know there's something. I know the universe is nudging me, and I'm just going to believe that there's something coming to me. And I'm going to throw these creative wands up in the air, and I'm going to go for it. And going for it can simply mean I'm going to start to feel. I'm going to start to learn how to get back into my body. I'm going to start how to learn how to ground myself. I'm going to start to journal. I'm going to really go inwards, really get in touch with who I am, and find out who I am. I've spent all these years being someone else, right? Spending all this time on something. And now what about me? It's me time. It's me time. That's what this is about. It's me time. So let's pull a card before I forget. Moonology card for you. One card. Some of these are... Okay. One card for Scorpio to end the reading here. Oh, these are... I'll just keep shuffling here. They're all upside down, mixed up. That's okay. One card will come up. What card wants to come up here? Whoa, I gotta take that. There's some flew out. Wow. Wow. Okay. I won't tell you what it is until I look it up. But yeah, I think it was meant for you. Sometimes these are just like right on. Okay, it's the waxing moon, waxing crescent moon. This must be the one then. I'm going to assume it's this one. Okay, so 98, it'll have a picture. No, it's not that one. Oh, there it is. 26. Okay, this is your card. Have faith in your dreams. Okay, waxing crescent moon. Don't give up are the first 3 words. The situation you're asking about is still taking shape, and that's the Temperance card. You're nowhere near the end of the story. I just talked about all that. Whatever's happening now is just a step along the way. As they say in the self-help classics, everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. However, the waxing crescent moon card is a reminder that you must still keep working towards whatever it is that you want. If you can't take practical steps, spend time meditating on the question you're asking about and allow your higher self to download information to you about your best next step. Overall, this card suggests there is every reason to be hopeful for a very positive outcome to the situation you're asking about. So keep the faith. Wow, beautiful card. It was worth the effort to try to get it out of the deck. I will see you, Scorpio, halfway through. April, and I'm also going to leave a shadow work video at the end just to help you, give you a start, a boost on how to get that feminine energy going in you. All right, so this is a beautiful reading for you, Scorpio. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.